Second match of the day here at the Ken Rosewall Arena here in Sydney, and a match that would have got the Americans' attention in the opener will certainly make sure that Taylor Fritz is very focused for his contest against Cam Norrie out here. Madison Keys squeezing past Katie Swan in the opening match in 3 sets, a match that they would have banked on winning if they are to get through to the finals here of this year's United Cup. This, of course, the City final here in Sydney that's going on, of course, in Brisbane and in Perth as well, but a real scare for the Americans in the opening match. The Team GB rattling the cage. This, however, is a far more evenly matched contest, potentially. 12th meeting between these two. Taylor has won 6 times, Norrie 5, an incredible amount of meetings between the American and the Brit as well. Norrie, of course, ranked 14 in the world, Fritz 9. This is an elite clash here at the United Cup in the second match of the day. The American #1, 25 years of age, up against the British #1, 27 years of age.
For this afternoon.
Let's listen.
So we're going to have a photo after the toss, please. Just a quick reminder, net device, live hook eye, the shot clock in the corners, and time between points, please. Stevie, change over. Any question? So Cameron, this is tails and this is head. Tails, please. Heads. Tails. You serve. Okay, photo, please. Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
Lots of similarities between these two. 4 titles, of course, both have won Indian Wells as well. And massive, massive win, of course, for Taylor Fritz, being able to do that. First American to win in the desert since Agassi in 2001. Jim Curry alongside me for this contest. Welcome, Jim. It's been fun to watch both of these two rise through the rankings in the last couple of years.
No doubt about that, Petch. It's great to be alongside you. We'll also have Todd Woodbridge courtside to give some expert analysis down at that level, in the weeds with these two players who are what I would deem maximizers, getting the most out of their potential. And Cam Norrie came on like a house of fire once he left the American collegiate system of Texas Christian University. And he has quickly gotten himself up towards the elite level and into it. And he has got to be coming in with so much confidence on the heels of his 2 victories here at the ATP Cup. What a ride it's been for him so far as he gets his season underway. Wins over de Minaur and Nadal for the first time in 5 meetings, able to take out Rafa in 3 sets from a set down. That will fill your coffer with confidence, but he's playing against a guy, Petch, who's probably flying just about as high in that department.
Jim Curry with the same number of Indian Wells titles as both of these two out here on the court as well. He knows how to win in the desert, and it certainly hasn't been a barren landscape for this man in the last couple of years. He's found himself getting to grips with the style of tennis that he needs to play to be successful. Does the man from California, of course. Some nice little moves through in the slams last year, 4th round in Australia, and of course that wonderful epic match with Nadal in the quarterfinals of Wimbledon for Taylor Fritz. Hasn't hit the heights as yet in his home Grand Slam, of course. 3rd round a couple of times, and has yet to beat a top 10er at a Grand Slam. So a few more milestones for Taylor Fritz, even in 2023.
2 minutes.
It's for the man on the other side of the net, Cam Norrie. He has just gone from strength to strength in the last few years. He's barely loses to a player that is much lower than him anymore. Broke into the world's top 10, of course, in April of 2022. Career high for Cam of 9 in August of last year as well. The 4th ever Brit to break into the world's top 10. Not something that happens all that much, and a consistency from Cam was something that was so impressive from May 2021 through to August of last year. 10 ATP Tour finals. Absolutely spectacular from Cam in that regard. 52 wins in 2020, 144 in 2022. Not always easy to back up your sophomore year as well.
No, especially when you're not someone who has a knockout punch that can just blast through opposition. Cam Norrie works around his opponents with his savvy, with his skill, with his legs, with his lungs, with his consistency. That's how he beats so many of these players, is by finding ways to help them beat themselves and taking advantage of his opportunities. The other side of the net, Taylor Fritz, the way that his success has come is by blowing holes through the court with his serve and with his forehand. Two massive weapons that he's really learned how to use at a very high, sustainable level. You got terrific technique, both of them do. Forehands and backhands are rock solid. They can rally, no problem. But for Fritz, not as good of a mover as Cam Norrie is. Defense isn't his calling card, so he's moved in a big way into the offensive four in men's tennis. David Witt, Jessica Pegula's day-to-day coach, is the captain of Team USA, off to a good start so far. They have won, what is it, 10 matches now and just lost 1. That's a pretty good record. Tim Henman has a pretty good record as a player and developing one as a captain here, the United Cup as well. He's done terrific work. Been very verbose with his team and keeping them up and aware of everything that's going on. This is going to be a good one.
Tonight may well be a good night at the United Cup. Taylor Fritz will be hoping to put Team USA in a very strong position to love up. Todd Woodbridge is courtside for this one, sort of clash that catches everyone's attention, doesn't it, Todd? It's a good look ahead for everything that we have to come for the Australian summer, not just for today.
Indeed it is, and just listening to the two of you go through the bios of both of these two. The last time they played, I think, was at the Labour Cup. Very different matchup here today. Cam Norrie, with the 2 wins that he's had, comes into this one with confidence. I'm looking forward to it, because both of them look like they believe that they can win it, which generally gives us a very good contest.
15 love. Out. 15 all.
Both these two have been pretty active on the exhibition circuit coming into Australia as well. In fact, they played each other in Hong Kong. That's not going to go down as an official head-to-head match. Cam getting the better of Fritz, but they both decided they weren't going to hang the rackets up for too long.
Out. 14-15.
Didn't miss by much. Cam trying to get Fritz on the defense.
Game.
Interesting. Cam looking to be quite aggressive off that backhand side early on here. Whether that will continue as a trend as this match continues, but just taking a little look at this, Taylor Fritz and Cam Norrie. The main reason I sort of brought this up, of course, is taking the ball on the rise as it's on the way up, is that Taylor, you expect that these days. We know how much more he's using his forehand, that he's going to be looking to try and get aggressive. But Cam's number, perhaps, Jim, will be surprising for some people. He's such a hard worker. He loves to run around, but he actually, because of his backhand, is able to also hug the baseline.
Yeah, I think they take the ball on the rise for different reasons. Taylor Fritz doesn't want to give up space. He doesn't want to have to move too far. He wants to play on his front foot, wants to rip winners. He generates a lot of his own pace, does Taylor Fritz. He doesn't need that. But generally speaking, when you take the ball on the rise, you also are able to use the speed of the ball coming at you and as a catapult in a way. And that's what Cam Norrie does. He uses the pace and the bounce coming at him to help him generate some pace and to take time away from his opponents. Remember, if you don't hit the ball big, Taylor Fritz does. Cam Norrie does not, on average. The way that you can make it seem like you're hitting it big is to take the ball sooner and get it back onto your opponent quicker. It has the effect of being a bigger shot. Think about someone like David Goffin, the wee wizard from Belgium, and how early he takes the ball and redirects it down the line. That's how he plays his offense. Cam Norrie's bigger. Well, he does a lot of that same stuff. And I'll say this. If these guys both play at their highest level, I do believe Taylor Fritz wins. I think his overt firepower will rule the day. But Cam Norrie is basically a litmus test for someone like Fritz. He will let you know exactly how well you're playing if Cam plays the right way and limits his unforced errors. He'll make you hit a lot of extra shots, and that will give Fritz a chance to hit more winners and also make more errors. So far, so good for Fritz. Only one unforced.
Here we go. Come on. Here we go.
Michael Russell looking after Taylor Fritz for the last few years now, done a wonderful job. Oof, that did not miss by much.
Go again, come on.
Three consecutive serves there to the forehand side when under pressure from Cam Norrie. Just in a look at Taylor's record against lefties, one of the best sort of double-handers that's come out of America for a while, Taylor Fritz. He's 29 and 29 against southpaws. Did get off to a pretty rough start in his tour career against lefties, though. He won just one out of his first 10 matches that he played.
Advantage Team USA.
Here comes an early chance for Team USA. Break point. Another first serve directed at the forehand of Fritz, who in the ad court in particular is standing well into the doubles alley, offering up the middle serve, trying to protect the wide slider.
Great return, and he'll be disappointed with a miss because he couldn't hit a winner from down there. There was no need to miss it. Put it back in the court, make Norrie at least have to work to save that break point.
Advantage Team Great Britain.
Cam's coach Faku alongside Tim Hemman.
Right here, Knox, come on. Great play, Norrie.
Big holder serve. Team USA with the momentum going up. 1-love against Team GB after the opening women's singles. That was a big hold from Norrie.
One more to the string. What tension you want? 45.
Doesn't string his rackets too tight, does he? Cam Norrie could hear there, 45. He's sometimes down at 43 in terms of pounds in the racket, but there was just confirmation of the score between these two countries.
Guys, I just want to jump in really quickly.
Love 15.
As I'm courtside, I'll whisper, but one of the great things about sitting so close is you get to see the emotions of the players and their face. You almost get to look into their eyes. And what impressed me with Cam Norrie over the first two matches, particularly when he took out Rafa Nadal, was how evenly poised he was with his temperament. Emotionally within the face, nothing changed. That's a great strength of his, but what's already stood out here in just 2 games, every single point.
15-all.
Taylor turns to his box over here to David Witt and talks. He says something. There is an emotional response after every single play. That has to wear you down. We'll see whether he continues it, but there's a little bit of aggravation in there as well. So it often is when you're a player, you look at that to see what the state of mind of your opponent is, and I'm sure that Norrie will pick up on that as this progresses.
Exceptional exchange. There's going to be more like that between these two.
30-all.
Great work, Nos. Make him move. Come on, Nos.
Tim Hammond just echoing the insights from Jim Courier there about trying to get Taylor Fritz on the move, not his strongest point.
There's Facundo Lagones, who was a teammate and college teammate of Cam Norrie. When Norrie was a young player in college, he was a veteran on the team now, coaching.
Very good.
Has been
Great
for
play.
quite some time.
30-14.
Way to move it around, Nos. Come on. Let's go. It's all you, Nos. Let's hear it.
They'll be in pretty good mood, seeing as Texas Christian University is in the college football finals in America. That's going to improve the mood even more.
Absolutely phenomenal finish to the rally from Cam Norrie.
Physical. Way too physical, Nos.
Incredible breaker serve.
Team Great Britain leads 2-1.
Different league, Nos.
Well, that was absolutely amazing, as is the Murray River, one of the, well, it is the longest river in Australia as well. And it has got some incredible places along its banks to pop off and camp, waterfalls, And it's not just the Murray River as well. You've got Byron Bay, you've got the hinterland, you've got the Blue Mountains as well. It is a remarkable place, New South Wales. And we've been fortunate enough to be here for 7 days already, and a little bit longer as well, as the United Cup has made Sydney one of its 3 homes. As Cam Norrie tries to bring this home for Team GB, and what looked like it was going to be a suboptimal start down a break has turned into the most perfect opening. What a strike that backhand was, Jim.
Yeah, and great anticipation as well. Taylor Fritz taking that forehand swinging volley back into the same corner. And he was there and delivered a gem of a passing shot.
One of the slowest hitters off the backhand side. Took going back to that Taylor Fritz miss on the first break point. Sometimes when you're playing against opponents, you don't need to worry about certain shots. And had Taylor chipped on the break point into Cam's flat backhand at only 68 sort of miles an hour, it comes back, he probably could have stayed in the point, which is why I said didn't necessarily need to make an error. He is he's one of those unique players as well, Jim, as well, isn't he? He's got a huge differential between forehand spin and backhand spin, and in terms of pace as well. He has that uncanny ability to make you play badly.
Net for service.
Yeah, Cam Norrie can be an incredible extractor of unforced errors from his opposition. It would drive you crazy because he doesn't give you much to play. Knuckleballs off the backhand, some soft spinning forehands. But his discipline to continue to make shot after shot can drive some offensive-minded players, like a Taylor Fritz, a little batty at times and cause you to start going for too much like that.
But Jim, you mentioned the knuckleball, and you know, I'm sitting right at court level and from the side, and I'm sure you'll be able to illustrate it with our Hawkeye technology, but the difference between the shape of the forehand of Cam Norrie and the flight that he gives the ball to them when he gets to the backhand, it's really fascinating to see from courtside, because it really changes up the strikes that Taylor Fritz has to make. Rarely do you see such a variation from a player in the way they hit the ball, particularly today. That
Taylor is ripping his forehand out here. He's trying to not get in those extended rallies with Norrie. And just taking a look at
well, the speeds back that up. Taylor's caning his forehand right now. And Norrie's just doing well to combat it. Good use of the geometry of the tennis court. Wide serve, forcing Fritz to go coast to coast back at the baseline. Not able to get all the way there in time to do offense.
Just a whisker below 90% of first serves going in at the moment here for Cam Norrie. This is an excellent tennis from both, to be fair. But right now it is Norrie in the ascendancy.
Team Great Britain leads 3 games to 1.
That's very high level. You can see a lot of confidence oozing out of Cam Norrie, rightfully so, coming off of that win over Nadal. One of the things that Nadal did at times in the match when he had some success was he really went big at the Norrie forehand and avoided the backhand to avoid having to deal with the ball kind of scraping off of his kneecaps, coming so low off of the two-hander. We'll see if Taylor Fritz adopts a little bit of that strategy as well. Honestly, like the backhand, that's the side that you'll have success. Maybe you attack it if you're coming to the net, but you play to the forehand of Norrie to get him to hit the spinny shot that sits up higher for you to pummel. It's easy to say because Cam can also pull the trigger on his forehand at times and dissuade you from that. Like that. You know, when he's hitting shots like that, you can start to question the strategy, but I do believe, having watched him play enough, that is a pattern that long-term does work. You can't be dissuaded by a shot that's that brilliant, but also low percentage. Thing caught just a whisker of the line. You got to give him that one. Challenge him to make it again.
30-15.
Misses that forehand, going down the line again. A quick look at the speeds coming off of the rackets of these players from our friends at Hawkeye, and it's a big difference.
And it was always going to be a big difference, isn't it? Actually, just looking at those numbers there, the forehand speed for Taylor is up actually just 1 mile an hour on his average from last year. Norrie is always historically in the sort of lowest part of the top 50 in terms of speed off backhand and forehand, but he is so consistent, and that's why he has so far chiseled out that break of serve. 3-2 first set.
You're just picking sides, and the game you broke me, you picked the right like 3 times. Is that what happened?
Game he broke you on 30 all.
He picked the side. Yeah. Did he just pick the right side 3 times and game he broke me? First point, I hit a really good serve. He put it on the baseline. 30 all, I hit a really good serve. He ripped it back. I only missed 2 per serve. The only I broke it.
That last game, he wasn't leading at all.
What do you mean? You just leaned on the 30.
No, but not like outright. I can literally see it.
Oh, well, the last 2 points on the 2 sides. Yeah. He leaned crazy hard wide. Yeah. And then he just leaned crazy hard wide again, actually.
First point, he wasn't leading, and you ain't going wide.
Well, the next 2 points, hard lean wide.
Maybe he's guessing. I'm getting really far back.
Like, dude, when he hit forehand lines like that one he hit,
no, it's a great shot.
Like that, so you know he's feeling it.
Yeah, but you can't sustain that.
No, I know. I knew he was going to look to go line because he pulled me off the court a bit more. Those usually when he does. That's why I absolutely drilled the backhand. So I was like, line off of that. Yeah, he took it early and hit it on the line. So.
The thing is that if you feel like you can't get an angle on, you can always go big middle and not give him the angle.
He wants to do a double backhand cross ideally though. You know what I mean? I feel like when I'm pulled out, it's either bail out backhand line for a winner, or just
make it fun.
drill it hard deep cross, then make it like
right.
I mean, just from a perspective of sitting here, Jim, I don't know, that was absolute gold for me. That was lovely to listen to, and I didn't disagree with anything. Did you?
No, Taylor Fritz likes to talk. He likes to be the one kind of bringing the discussion to his team. Certainly brought a lot of information on the change of ends there about what he thinks is happening out here. It's clear that he's concerned that Cam Norrie is guessing a little bit when Taylor is serving, and it's a little bit potluck, and if he gets it right a few times in a row, it can be trouble.
30 love.
There's nothing you can do about that as a server. If someone's guessing, you're going to get a lot more aces, but if they get hot on those guesses and hit good returns in a bunch in one game, the break can come, and that's a little bit of a case of what happened.
Net for service.
All over him, Moz, come on. Point for
Norrie
point.
is serving out of the treetops. He's barely missed a first serve so far. Almost 90% first serves in play.
Game Team Great Britain.
Unbelievable, Moz, go again.
Team Great Britain leads 4 games.
Something that he's
to
worked
2.
very hard on with his coach Facundo and James Trotman a little bit, who's working with Jack Draper now, of course, as well. Look at the extension up there. One of the biggest things they worked on was ball toss consistency, getting in the same spot every single time for him.
It's not always worked out this tournament. He's had a lot of missed tosses where he has let it drop and hit the reset button. It's caused the crowd to kind of get involved after a while because he's done it so often in the tournament. That still seems to be a bit of a problem.
Love for team.
But no problem when he's making contact with the serve. At 90% first serve, that won't last. That will come down over time because mean reversion gets everybody eventually. Never seen anyone serve 90% for a match when they're going for their serves the way he is. So can't expect that to happen today.
Net.
Neither can Taylor Fritz. He needs to take some heart in that he'll get some chances. But for now, he needs to hold serve. And boy, Norrie's playing some sharp tennis.
Not even Gilbert Schaller from our days served at 90%. Beautiful thing about Cam, though, when you look at his numbers, he always sits right down in the lower sort of echelons on everything, really. First serve pace, he's 40th best out of the world's top 50. He's 44th second serve pace in the world's top 50. In terms of forehand backhand speeds, he's 43rd ranked. And yet here's a guy that's been in the world's top 10 and is flirting with getting back into it again.
What's he ranked in tenacity and attitude? Did they give you that one?
He's got to be up there in top 5, isn't he?
Well, that would indicate, you know, one of the reasons he's as good at, and that's I touched on the way his attitude is when you watch him up close on court. He's a lot like a Rafa in, okay, just next point, I'm going to give it my best, and you have to beat me. That goes a long way. But I'm not sure that they can quantify in data that type of attribute.
Game Team USA.
Swift hold, but he's still got work to do to try and get back on serve here. Down a break, Team USA, 3-4. And Taylor Fritz at the moment, as we take you away from the Ken Rosewall Arena, is swimming upstream at the moment. There's some the Sydney Harbour, and of course it is accessible by many different ways, but particularly by boat as well. The harbour gives way to the Parramatta River, the Georges River and the Hawkesbury River, and obviously because of that there are many different activities that you can enjoy: kayaking, water skiing, and just a little cruising motorboat with a few sundowners, no doubt enjoyed by many over this Christmas and New Year period responsibly. Fitness trainer just over his left shoulder, Charlie Murray, the doubles player. He's played some fun stuff in the mixed doubles. Not a lot needing to be said apart from just keep going.
Great work.
Oh, maybe a ball that don't want it. Just go on, you know?
Here we go, right here.
New tennis balls for Cam Norrie to enjoy as he serves at 4-3 in the opening set. A little more pressure on Team GB, having dropped the opening match. To get too far down in the count. 3 match wins required to advance into the semifinals here in the United Cup, which will take place starting on Friday on this very court.
Love. Out. 30 love.
Aborted ball tosses from Norrie, which we've seen a bunch of this tournament.
40.
What we have not seen
Serving Norris
is Norrie dropping a lot of points when he makes a first serve, and he's made virtually all of them. Tim Hinman taking a peek at some of the data available in the team zones.
Game team.
Quite interesting watching courtside the returning of Taylor Fritz here, because a couple of quick games for Norrie, but when he returns he goes across the baseline. He's not cutting any of the left-handed angle off. He's almost chasing the ball the whole time. He's going to have to either change position and start moving forward, or be aware of where he's making contact, because at the moment that's pretty obvious for me sitting down by the side.
Love 15.
Heard Taylor talking about the shovel backhand that Cam does so effectively, particularly on that due side, just cross court, short angle, stays low. There's no question that that is a little bit of a pattern when you play Cam. If you serve out wide on the juice, to wait for it back through the middle or into your forehand side. Cross court, same down the tee on the ad side, doesn't often hit the off backhand return. So you've got a chance to anticipate where your +1 shot's going to come from.
(30-15). (40-15). Team USA.
Well, apart from one superb returning game, it's been relatively comfortable on serve for Taylor Fritz. But he's still in a very difficult spot in this opening set. Norrie will serve for the opener. Nobody really wants to break the spell, it would seem, in Team GB's team zone here.
Come on. Discipline. Point for points, really good.
That's the one thing he never struggles to do. Point in, point out. One of the best out there at the moment, Cam Norrie.
So the data is available in the team zones. Statistics, direction of shot, there's all kinds of information available to these teams. But Taylor Fritz knows that he's not seeing a lot of second serves. He knows that. And I wonder if this set goes the way of Team GB, if there's a discussion to be had about trying to move his return to serve position to a location that's a little different, that gives Norrie something different to look at, because sometimes that can throw off a rhythm of a server, and he is in magnificent career best rhythm in first serve. 92% first serves in play.
Yet to miss one to the due side. He has now. Interesting how scared Fritz is of the little shovel backhand cross-court low, isn't it? Staying away from it when he perhaps could go to it. Look at that.
Well done, Knots. Come on, and again. Go again. Come on. Point for point, Knots. Well done, Nos. Well done, Dave. Everybody up. Great stuff. Come on, Nos. Right here.
.34 minutes gone, 3 set points. That is a stunning set of tennis. Absolutely flawless. Was under pressure in his opening service going down break point. He never looked back from then on. Awesome from Norrie, 6-4.
He hates running to his forehand with your inside-out forehand. Very good. Brilliant tennis. Come on, let's go again.
And Tim Hemmer very quick to make sure his team were united in getting up off the bench, just to show their appreciation from that quality, Jim, from Cam.
What a turnaround. Norrie in his opening service game faced a break point and then quickly struck and broke in the third game. And again, we've reiterated how impressive his first serve numbers were in that opening set. That's as well as I've ever seen him serve for a set. Can he sustain it? We'll see. Unlikely, but it may not be necessary. He's playing so well in these ground stroke rallies and getting Taylor Fritz moving side to side. And Fritz is doing his darndest to dominate when he can, but this was the break point. A brilliant pass. Norrie stayed home, guessed right, and delivered a gem, and that would be enough. And he hit some beauties as well on the forehand wing. And boy, Cam Norrie coming off of that win over Nadal. Looks like he's flying high, Todd.
Yeah, and Jim, no forehand winners, but I tell you what, from courtside, you really see how heavy that ball is. He's really got great shape, and he's working the ball so well at the moment, Cam Norrie. And I've actually done a lot of his matches, but from the booth, when you get in here, you can, so close, you actually can see the heaviness of shot that he's improved upon over this last 12, 18 months. That rise up in the rankings is very obvious, and he's keeping Taylor in an uncomfortable position with, and I love your terminology of that flat backhand, that knuckleball where it really slips in down low. It's a modern version of a knifed slice backhand, you might call it.
Yeah, it's the flattest backhand in the world's top 50 right now, and it causes problems for everyone. It's causing problems for Taylor Fritz. Now you can see Fritz was the pre-match favourite, but the win predictor, understandably, on the evidence of the opening set, going with Norrie now. Simple, brutally efficient service motion that Taylor has.
It's the first set that Taylor Fritz has lost at this event. On his opening couple rounds in straight sets. So a little bit of a challenge. Took out Lehechka from the Czech Republic and Alexander Zverev from Germany. Bit of a gift there from Cam, though.
40-15.
A standard return of serve finds the net. Oh, that was an interesting look there. Norrie really jumped early to cover the wide serve. Didn't matter. It was out and a foot fault. An easy hold in the end for Team USA.
Yeah, he's not guessing all the time, though, which is interesting with Cam. He's guessing sometimes, and that's what Taylor was sort of saying to Michael Russell at the sit-down. He said he's guessing, you know, he's taking some big guesses, and Michael said, well, he wasn't there, and he's right, Michael. They're both right. At times he is guessing, and at other times he's holding his position.
Just lift to the board. Lift to his back. Like whatever.
Here we go.
Taylor, of course, getting into the World Tour Finals in Turin, courtesy of the retirement or the pull-out early in before the tournament got underway from Alcaraz, who was injured. Had a good time of it there, didn't he? Beat Oj Aliassime and Rafael Nadal, and had a tough final set breaker loss to Casper Ruud as well before going down to Novak in the last four in a couple of tight tie-break sets.
Low.
15 shots. Fritz was doing the work into the forehand to try and get the one up in that mid zone where he could pull the ball down the line big on the forehand. It was all set up for him. Just found the tape with the forehand instead. Got him. Oh, goodness. What a run onto the ball from Cam.
30 low.
Beautiful hands from Norrie. You just take a look at the topspin rates. He's sits around 8th in the world's top 50 in terms of spin on the forehand. But he's below average even today on his backhand spin, around 1200. Dead last, as I say, out of the world's top 50. And you can see the differential between what Fritz is having to deal with here with heavy spin and an ultra flat ball coming through. It's going to mess with your rhythm. sharp. Top Rupert would have liked that.
Indeed, I did, and I do. And I ask, why don't you play this a little bit more if you've got such firepower like that? Because that starts to build pressure for your opponent. At the moment, Cam Norrie is really comfortable just working that heavy ball off the forehand around, pushing Taylor from corner to corner. That's where I think he just needs to add a little bit to his game. He's at times a little one-dimensional for me, Taylor. We never see a change of pace with a slice backhand or anything like that. He's just pretty much going at the same speed at everything.
Oh, this is just brilliant to watch.
I suppose if you can go at one pace with repeat performance like that rally, then maybe you should be doing that. That was exceptional.
Go again, Noz.
He could have caught that one as well. That was way, way to his left. This is some of the best tennis you'll ever see. He's done nothing wrong here, Norrie.
Now Fritz is lifting his game up to Norrie's level, and he has generated his second break point of the match at the exact same time that he generated one in the opening set. A lot of humidity out there, players perspiring. Seen a little bit of that already in the women's match preceding this one. All right, break point. Norrie hit a good first serve up the middle in the first set to save it. Where does he go here? Same spot. And Fritz was not looking there. He was looking for the backhand. So Norrie gets his second ace of the match at the right time. And Tim Hinman better be careful in the team zone. You don't want to get too close to Norrie. He's so sharp, he might cut you right now.
Net for service. Advantage Team Great Britain.
Lefty spin really sliding into the body of Fritz. Cost him. Difficult to get around and hit a forehand off of a swinging lefty serve. Much easier on a righty when that ball's moving the opposite direction.
mesmerising, hypnotic.
Gee, it's good quality tennis, isn't it, from both players at the moment, but hard to get Taylor Fritz at full stretch on the backhand like that. But watching Norrie just deliver those backhands a moment ago, this wonderful way that you guys were showing how he's been taking the ball on the rise, how he actually leans in to flatten this one out. It's reminiscent of Jimmy Connors, and of course you'll relate to that one, Jim. Jimmy used to play it a little bit more off the hip level. He's got his ability to play it off the shoulder level, but with the same effect.
Yeah, Connor's backhand was very flat, very difficult. Put some side spin on his slice at times also. Master manipulator of the ball, and Norrie pretty darn good himself. A little bit of a different day for the teams and the captains. The round robin portion of these matches, these best of 5 matches, were played over 2 days. It'll all happen today and tonight for Team GB and Team USA. Day off of the competition tomorrow to allow the teams that qualify for the semifinals that are playing in Brisbane and in Perth to travel in, catch their breath, and get ready for the semifinals, which will begin on Friday. And those will be played over 2 days, Friday and Saturday. Then the final will be played in this format, where all 5 matches will take place in one day. Lot to play for. The first United Cup is a beautiful trophy. Lots of valuable ranking points and a little bit of pocket change as well on the line for these players.
Game. Team USA.
Unlike the opening set where he got broken just after he had that opportunity to break Norrie, he shuts the door beautifully with another ace, his 7th of the match so far. 2-1, Team USA, second set.
It's amazing how good of a game I can play and not break.
He's playing literally fucking retarded. He played a good game.
It's like absolutely possessed for like 2 points. And then he just bombs an ace on the line. Yeah, I know, but I also can't keep playing. I can't keep playing every point.
I feel like you can sustain the level more than he can.
As long as we playing grindy ass points like that, I better be getting a lot of free points on my serve.
What you have been is, like I said, now that you're standing a little farther back in the first, you're getting a lot more balls in play.
Slider wide on the ad. Yeah, I'm returning it so well. Like, he's not really, like, if he hits the line or whatever, but he's not really getting it super far off the board. So I'm open, hitting an open stance and I feel like I'm getting it deep every time. And if he goes line, it's okay. I just need to go between and lift across.
But you did, I mean, that was a great point. You mixed in a couple high changes, paces, and spins. You did a good job out doing it, but I mean, that's the way to play it.
He makes a bad line change, and I have to punish him. Yeah. Take it early and rip across.
Yeah, and you can always go behind him as well.
Yeah.
So important for sport these days to show some sort of innovation, to understand the kind of generation and the content that people want. And right now the United Cup is providing that. That is just, again, wonderful to hear from Taylor Fritz. His mindset, I can't play a better returning game. Just incredible how well Norrie's playing. Little tip of the cap to his opponent there. Richly deserved.
Fritz. Yes.
Fritz's level is lifted in a big way here in the second set. That's his 8th clean winner, and he only has 3 unforced errors. And it's the winners. It takes a few shots to set up, so he is playing some awesome ball right now. And it looks like he's got 15-40. What a shot from Fritz! Good recognition that Norrie was closing the angles for the passes, but exposed the lob.
And if you were to say that both of these two players, one area they could work on is definitely the net games and just being a little more clinical more often. There was a bit of a shovel of a volley there from Norrie. And the door is wide open here for Team USA.
That's one that'll keep you up at night if you end up losing this match and you don't break serve. Can't give away points like that at moments like that. No, you can forget it now. No damage done, but plenty done to Team GB there on that forehand. Big play by Taylor Fritz.
Team USA leads 3 games to 1.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? So you only have to come off your level ever so slightly when you're playing at the level that these two guys are. Cam made 2 errors there, one slight unforced, and the next forehand he dropped one short. Taylor jumps all over it, and I tell you what, any ball around the service line that Fritz gets a forehand on, watch out. So it's important for Cam Norrie to keep that depth and heaviness going off that wing of his on the forehand.
Interesting there. That was one of those moments where Cam did guess whether he gets a little bit of a read at times on this serve. I'm not sure, but he went very early for the slider out wide, the off-pace delivery. And he was absolutely spot on.
Could have guessed on that one, you still wouldn't have gotten it. That had a vapor trail following it.
I'm sure I've seen him hit his forehand better than this. As well, maybe, in Indian Wells when he was on the way to the title there, but not better.
30-15.
It's a muffled promise of what was to come from Cam when he was at TCU back in 2016, playing some challenges, picked up some nice results, got himself inside the world's top 300, halved that ranking in 12 months. In 2017, was inside the world's top 100 by 2018. It was a very quick ascension into the world's top 100 for Norrie. Then it kind of plateaued for a bit. But he has worked every single day, every minute of every single day to become the best player that he can be. And he's going to need all of that knowledge and experience and skill to try and keep Fritz at bay here, because the American is flying. Flawless from Fritz, and it is 4-1 in the second set.
When I toss the ball like I did on the first point, I actually want to perform. Like, I don't deserve to win a point.
And it's not only Taylor Fritz that's hitting the right notes here in Sydney. You can get yourself over to the Sydney Opera House, where they're certainly bidding a few of the right notes. I'm sure Todd Woodbridge himself has been in there and watched many of the 2,000 shows that go on over the course of a year, just a couple of days a year that the Sydney Opera House is shut, right in the heart there of the CBD on the harbour, and it has become the most iconic building in Australia.
And Petch recently refurbished, and boy did they do an incredible job. They fixed a few acoustic issues, and it's well worth a visit. And they have such variety too of shows to go see. I like my shows.
I know you do. You've given me a few good tips in the past.
Yeah, probably the odd one you wish you hadn't, but you never know. That happens.
Well, I'm glad we had the tip to come and watch this. This has been some of the crispest, cleanest hitting that we've seen in the United Cup so far, and it is a lovely contrast in styles. Very much front foot tennis from Taylor Fritz, looking to bring his forehand to break down the defences of Cam Norrie.
Then his line change is going to hurt me as much so far.
Also, all your returns are now much better. Here we go, Taylor.
And now it's the onus on Cam Norrie just to maybe either switch things up, or Jim, is it a case that he just needs to ride out this storm?
Well, I don't really know what Cam can do other than maybe get his serve percentage back up to 90%. It's dropped all the way down to 70%. He's still serving incredibly well, but it's not nearly perfect like it was in the opening set. I think he's got to be a storm rider right now. I think he's got to wait for Fritz's level to drop off and keep doing what he does best. Don't overplay if you're Norrie. And that's just too good. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's moving Fritz side to side. That is the tactic that Tim Henman rightfully has asked him to deploy, and Henman's just nodding his head like, that's too good, because in fact it is. 14 winners and only 5 unforced errors for Fritz this set.
Love 30.
And the other thing that I kind of referenced early, obviously Fritz was just that little bit nervous and edgy in those opening games. As I mentioned, he was looking to the team zone the whole time, and there was always a comment and a chat. That's all disappeared. Now it's just totally zoned in on what he needs to do on the court in the match, and shows you how important that psychological part of your attitude is as well, because now he is on song.
Sound nose!
15-13.
Come on, Nose.
30.
What a great service game from love 30 that was from Norrie. And he continues to do all the right things. Jim Courier has been talking about it, Tim Hemming, about just trying to get Taylor Fritz on the run. And as you can see here from some of the insights that we show you, the ultimate defender, and that's when you're outside the doubles line. And you can see if you can get Taylor Fritz outside the doubles line on his backhand side, just 11% he turns it around. Look at the tour average, 34%. Norrie even a little bit under it, but you can see the differential for Fritz.
Great ball, Noz.
And there again, that's kind of that situation that Taylor finds himself in. And as a lefty, he should be able to pull him out there.
Come on, Noz.
That was that example right there, guys, of this wonderful lean in on the backhand of Cam Norrie. Got himself inside the baseline and just drove those balls so flat, so low that it ends up getting him that short forehand to put away. And boy, is it an effective shot. It is really taking to this court well.
Struggling to control the new balls a little bit there. Taylor Fritz on that, and the door now ajar for Great Britain to get back on serve. 2 break points coming.
Right here, Noz.
Net for service.
Sit.
Well, a breathtaking returning game there from Cam Norrie. Puts Team GB right back in this second set on serve. Showed his hand with the serve out wide, got the net call, didn't he? And then he decided to go with the heat seeker down the middle. Norrie picked it. And it rocked Fritz's world.
If they see a football, they you think they're watching?
And Hinman suggesting that Taylor Fritz might be encroaching the line with his foot on football. Just asking the official there if they're keeping eyes on that. Norrie had eyes on that serve. What a blast of a return.
Come on.
He certainly was leaning, looking, and just makes you wonder if Norrie isn't able to read Fritz's ball toss.
Tough to do when he's hitting it. It's great work, great spots on your serve. Great work, Norrie. Come on.
Stay on him right here.
Here we go. Come on.
Norrie to serve, back on serve, 3-4, second set. One of the supervisors here in charge.
50 long.
Come on. Let's have another one here. Get up after it. Brilliant serving, Oz. Great variation. Great variation.
15.
All square, 4 apiece. Perfection delivered on serve from Norrie. Todd, I know you love your rackets and everything else. He actually is one of those players out there that's a pretty unique racket, does Cam. 16 mains, 20 in the crosses. Most players are around sort of 18, 20, 16, 18 and everything else, but he's got quite big gaps in his strings, Norrie.
Good serve.
Did you say, can you go through these numbers again? He's
16 mains and 20 in the crosses. So, you know, a lot of it will be 18, 20, yeah, but he's got 2 strings out, so bigger gaps for him.
That'll definitely give the heaviness on the forehand. That's unusual. Sometimes when you hit it really flat, particularly like he does on the backhand, because he's got that string pattern, that will just help him a little bit. If he gets a tighter one, then the ball comes out really, really flat, and it's harder to get any pace.
Well, that was what Fritz was talking about with Michael Russell earlier on in the match, if you weren't with us. If he gets me in that position, I feel as though I've got to go fast, hard cross score, give him the forehand down the line, or just an outright winner down the line. I don't know why he doesn't feel comfortable going through the middle of the court there.
Momentum is completely flipped here. Fritz pressing, trying to squeeze the ball into the corners and misses badly there. And this might be a last gasp for Fritz here. Double break point down. And does Norrie try and read the ball toss and leave early before Fritz swings. Guess a little bit on the return. He did not, and he was late getting there. Two great serves from Taylor Fritz to get back to deuce.
Deuce.
Go again, Norrie.
This is so good to watch. The sport being showcased at its very best.
Advantage Team USA.
And every avenue that potentially leads to success for both players being explored right now. Not a play that you're often going to see from Taylor Fritz, the drop shot, but it's worked out nicely.
You know, sometimes I think when you watch on television, you don't get the appreciation of how hard the ball is being hit and how quick it is that these players actually move around the court. And that point there was just exceptional when you get to watch it up close. Amazing athleticism and ball striking from both players.
Advantage Team USA.
Hang in there, Norrie. Come on.
Henman's calling, he's predicting a double here, a Barney Rubble. Didn't get it right. But he got the point anyway.
Deuce.
Wishful thinking from the captain. And he got what he wanted in the end. Back to deuce.
Lock
Still
in, Norrie. Here we go, right now.
knocking on the door.
I heard the British accent there, and I actually thought that was leaking out of your microphones. Didn't realise it was Tim Henman.
Oh, he's got him again. You won't see better tennis than this all summer.
Advantage Team USA.
Well, I'm not sure if there is anything such as perfection in a tennis match. We all feel as though you're an understudy to it, but this is getting as close as you get to perfection from both of these two in this second set. The cut and thrust, the quality of shot making, the imagination. couple of games that was to savour for us as fans. They share the spoils. It's 5-4.
No, I need like an O2 tank. You want that too? Great job. Well done.
Great job.
It's good that you mixed in the Cervolic 15-40.
Game duration, 7.5 minutes, and it absolutely flew by. Point after point, shot after shot, just spectacular. Second to last point here was just something else. You look at Cam Norrie looking to hug the baseline, even though he's pushed back here. Taylor Fritz doing the same. Neither Jim wanting to give up real estate.
Yeah, Norrie's done such a tremendous job of really hugging that baseline, not giving up space, trying to take time away from Taylor Fritz. Hits shots like that to force Fritz to defend. How about the slice forehands from Taylor Fritz in this game? Not a shot you see him deploy that often. He's not one of these squash shot guys that you see use that much. But necessity, the mother of is whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
Of invention.
Yeah, that's the one. Anyway, here comes another one. This time it's a drop shot, and Norrie there pushes this deep. That's the only play he had. Not quite deep enough. And Fritz, with the flick off of the shoelaces, finds the perfect place. And what a time for it.
Yeah, Tim Hammond, look at that. His hands above his head. He knows how good that topspin lob was from Taylor Fritz.
Go again, Nods. Come on. You got this. Great work. Come on.
Battle of skill, battle of will. And both players full of desire to get the win for their teams, for their countries. What a competition this has proven to be, the United Cup.
Through the first set, Norrie served around 90% first serves in play. That was unsustainable, but it hasn't dropped far down. Still serving 72% in this set and 80% for the match. Ladies and gentlemen, his normal rate is around 65%. 15 points up is outlandish. And it's a good part of the reason why he is in this scoreline right here, about to go 5-all. He has just not given Taylor Fritz many opportunities to be offensive from the return of serve position. To be honest, I thought he'd be serving 50% in the second set. Just come down from the sky. And Fritz frustrated on that return. Lashes out, and it's 5 apiece.
What's his speed like, Jim? Is that dropped a little bit to keep the percentages up? But it's something that you might be able to have a look at. But I still think that overall Taylor Fritz hasn't worked out how to return the left-handed serve particularly well. As I mentioned before, he goes across the baseline or even backwards, where he needs to be able to be cutting the angles off by coming forward. So it would be a suggestion that playing lefty isn't a favourite one for Taylor.
15 love.
On the eyeball test, Todd, I don't think that Cam's taking anything off. I think he's going full guns blazing. Yeah, he's carving some out wide, which takes a little speed off, but he's trying to win points with his serve, not just start them.
So an exceptional performance from him.
Yes, absolutely.
Take
it, Norrie. Come on.
Two players out here that potentially have Grand Slam winning DNA in them now. Appreciate there's a big difference between potentially doing it and making quarters and semis of majors and actually getting past players of the caliber of Novak, but you can see from just witnessing this match just how well these two are playing at the moment. Pressure developing here on Fritz's serve. Released with an incredible angle at that pace. 213 gates out wide. That's short in the box. Fritz catching fire on serve, and he needs to. A dozen aces. Oh. And the backhand backs up another terrific first serve. Fritz leads second set, 6-5.
Team USA leads 6 games to 5.
Now, Fritz certainly not in the most idyllic of places right now, down a set, but he'll certainly have improved matters somewhat by going up 6-5 as we drift away down many of the waterways just outside of the Sydney harbour. Parramatta River, the Georges River and the Hawkesbury River, offering access to many different activities: water skiing, kayaking, sailing, and just a little sundowner cruise as well. This match will certainly get through sundown tonight. It is going to be a long, epic day here in Sydney to see who gets through to the semi-finals of this year's United Cup. This, of course, the City final today. And there are a couple of others going on around the country in Brisbane and Perth right now. I wonder, Jim Curry, if they're enjoying the quality that we are.
We're so focused here, hard really to say what's going on elsewhere. So mesmerized by the level of play we're witnessing here. Fritz getting a little dry shirt before the finish of this second set, which he hopes will not be the finish of the match. In answer to your question, Todd, about Cam Norrie's serve and serve speeds, he's serving about 5% faster on average today than he did all last season. So he's just having one of those magical days where it's all coming together on serve for him. Plenty of speed, plenty of accuracy, and plenty of success. Just broken the one time so far, Cam Norrie, and that was just on brilliance from Taylor Fritz.
Just a little look at his racket there. Of course, earlier on in the match, he had one sent away for get strung up at 45 pounds. Doesn't want to have any doubt in his mind at this stage.
Net for service.
Talk about a mature point there from Taylor Fritz. He gave Norrie nothing to work with the two-hander.
And he just took a bit of pace off those balls too. He was very, well, it's not very conservative, but it was far more conservative, and he went with more of a rally ball than hitting as hard as what he had been.
Net for service.
Can Norrie deliver some first serves to get out of this love 30 jam and stay in control of the points? That's got to be his goal, is to keep Fritz playing defense. Fritz making first serves goes a long way towards that.
Can use the scoreboard a little bit here as well. Smart. Underlines what Jim just said. First serve's huge.
Spots on the serve.
30.
Great stuff. Come on, mate. Here you go.
Not easy to dig yourself out of these holes. And the advantage of getting ahead in the score, very evident there. 2 set points for Team USA.
Norrie's had success saving break points in the ad court, going to the tee. But that last ad point, he tried that, and Fritz was looking forehand. That makes it tough on the server to know what to do. Let's see where he goes. He goes huge on the forehand. What a tremendous shot from Cam Norrie. That's Taylor Fritz's calling card, knocking forehands down on big points. Not Cam Norrie's. Maybe it is today.
You could hear Tim Hammond just saying no, he knew it. Norrie did not get the miles per hour on the forehand approach, and it was costly.
Yeah, Hammond said hit it. He muttered under his breath, and the second the ball came off the strings, he moaned, no. He knew Fritz was going to have a clean look at the pass, and with it comes a third set point.
You got this, Nos. Come on.
Number of winners in that set by Taylor Fritz, but in the end it was routine that won the day. Quality return in a quality match. We're settled.
Oh my God. You see that first set, that first one, the wide one, on the second one. I was so
So the one thing that comes through loud and clear when you listen to Taylor Fritz is not only that he has a good tennis IQ when it comes to tennis, but the passion that he has for the game, for the fight, for the arena that he's in right now. There has been no backing down from the challenge, because it has been perfection from Cam Norrie, but he has risen to the task here, as you can see from these numbers in the stand. To be honest, the numbers tell you some things, obviously the quality of the serving from Cam and everything else, but it doesn't tell you about the wonderful exchanges that these two have had over and over, and the big shots that they've had to make at end of range. And there have been too many, too numerous of them to show, but there's a couple right now.
Yeah, just pinpoint accuracy when required. Lots of power also, and big dynamic moves from these players to try and cover the shots. Fritz with some creativity too, not really known for that aspect, but he's had some key lobs at times that have really helped him out. And stood in there, didn't he? Norrie had the chances at 4-all, 2 break points, not able to get them. And then Fritz on his 3rd set point was finally able to turn it over. This point was amazing. That backhand lob, incredible. Fritz celebrating it, rightly so. And he would celebrate the end of a set with a deep return. Norrie not able to get the backhand in play. And this one is going to a decider. Only an hour and 31 minutes, but boy, has it been spectacular tennis in that short period of time for 2 sets.
And Todd, just such slim margins separating the two from winning or losing the opening set. I mean, there's not a lot that the captains need to say at this stage, is there?
No, I don't think so. The level has been so high. One of the best matches that we've had here in Sydney this week in terms of the ball striking, and you know, a lot of it comes down to attitude, just ever so slightly. I mean, this is not a negative, but Cam made just a couple of forehand mistakes there that allowed Taylor to get back up into the court. So we saw 2 of them in that last game, and then also when he lost his serve earlier in the set. But this is what I've really enjoyed about watching him play. Just look at the emotions here. He doesn't waste any unnecessary energy. He keeps himself incredibly level, and you know, that's a real attribute to have when you get into a tough match, where Taylor's that little bit more liable to emotionally go through some ups and downs in this 3rd set. But I thought Taylor did a very good job at stepping up and building some pressure in that set. I just wonder, you know, you guys have got the stat board in front of you. What about, you know, sort of net approaches and those little bits of change up? There's a couple of drop shots that made the difference, and then some different net approaches where the volley wasn't quite strong enough. But at some point you feel like that if you're going to win, you might need to change some strategy in those types of places, just at least to give the opponent a different look.
Yeah, I think they've been the infrequent sort of approaches to net. They've both got some decent numbers when getting there. Cam almost at 70%, Taylor at around 60%. It's not a sandbox, so they're both that comfortable playing in. They don't mind coming in there to try and finish, but they're not going to come in and try and defend too often against each other.
That's one of the parts when I watched Cam Norrie. I think there is the ability to attack and come in on the backhand. Yes, we talked about it being effective, but when you hit a passing shot that flat, it is actually the margins come down. It's not like where you're going on the forehand, they can rip and dip the passing shot and shape it. So from when I've watched him play, yes, he'll make some good passes, but I think there's an area where you can also get in and attack the Norrie game a little bit more by being aggressive and coming forward. But you know, ultimately we're probably not going to see that from Fritz, but it's something that you can put in your little black book of what opponents do, where they play well, and that's what the playing group out there does. You know, perhaps they have a laptop or an iPad these days, but I had to handwrite it in when we were out on tour.
Tim Edmond just asking the umpire if Taylor Fritz got lost. Of course, you do get your 5 minutes to go off court if you're going to change your outfit at these tournaments.
Anything I can get you? I mean, you best job in the world, huh?
Second best job after Tim, surely. And there you go. He's still got 2 minutes 20. If Tim wants him backhand court, he's not going to be in a hurry. He's well within his time rights, Taylor Fritz, to take as long as he wants.
Come on, Nos, right now. Show us how it's done. Come on. 1 set. Right here, Nos.
Bringing in a fan into the little air circulation fan into the team zone for Team USA. It is awfully humid underneath the canopy here, given the weather today. A little bit of rain earlier.
Here we go, Nos. Come on.
Currently raining outside as far as we can tell, but there is plenty going on here inside. A couple selfies and a couple of players playing near the peak of their powers. 3rd set, Taylor Fritz to lead off. USA up 1-0. Best of 5 matches to decide the Sydney City champion. So Norrie not quite ready to go. So we'll get a restart. No loss of momentum after the lengthy break at the end of the second set for Taylor Fritz. Quickly up 40-love. Wow, that's impressive.
Yep, Tim Henman just returning to court, having just been to the restroom.
First game, final set.
But he won't have missed too much there, and he will also like the fact that he's got an experienced campaigner like Cam Norrie in his corner, because there would be a temptation after the end of that second set to perhaps feel as though you need to go out and overplay, but he hasn't done too much wrong. He's executed the strategy well, and he's just got to continue down the same path, and if the opportunities come, be good enough to take them.
That's the thing that Cam has to realize too, is that yes, his level has been exceptional, but Taylor Fritz lifted in that second set. The amount of winners he hit and how few unforced errors he hit as well in that second set, given the risk profile, you'd think that that's not sustainable for the American as well. And it's one of those things that, if you're Tim Henman, you tell Norrie you don't have to overreact to Fritz doing that. Stay the course, and if he keeps that level up, you shake his hand and say, too good. Didn't think you could keep it up. But it's a long time to sustain that if Norrie plays his trademark dogged style of tennis that forces his opponents to hit quality shot after quality shot. The same metrics that we were talking about with, you got to expect Norrie's serve numbers to come down. You got to expect Fritz's winner numbers to come down, or his error numbers to creep up.
Net for service.
At least that's what you got to tell yourself if you're Cam Norrie.
That is a hugely impressive hole to serve as well.
Very much so, that game there, because the previous game, it felt like he was having a dip. You know, there's a few forehands that went astray again, and just the way that he walked up after the change of ends, he had the shoulders back, the head was up. It was really great, positive body language. It could have been easy to have dipped for 3, 4, 5 minutes and gone down and break your serve there. That was a very professional, high-ranked hold of serve.
Yeah, and it's the compound effect for Cam as well, for investing in his tennis every single day, not just when the cameras are on it like today. And he's the star of the show, but when we're not watching him as well, works just as hard.
Very low. Long.
It's been a judicious use of the drop shot so far from Taylor Fritz today, but more from the ground rather than from the volley. Did not get that one right.
Out. 40-30.
Good, yeah.
Got a little tense for a moment, but Fritz threw his second hold of serve in this final set, 2-1.
2 against 1. Ball change, please.
Let's drop into the American team zone and hear what he has to say. Pagula alongside team captain, of course, personal coach as well, David Witt there. She'll be up later against Harriet Dart. Will it be 2-love to Team USA? Or will it be one apiece? Still very much in the balance here. And who will be popping the wine corks later tonight? Will it be Team GB or Team USA? They'll probably be doing it in the city, not up in the Hunter Valley, one of the best-known wine regions in New South Wales. And if you do get up there, it's not just all about the wine, it's about the walking, it's about the food, and it is about the countryside and the Hunter River, which of course flows through that particular region. He's a tall man anyway, but he makes sure he gets up on top of that on his serve as well, Taylor Fritz.
Out. 15 long.
Come on, let's hit it, guys. Let's get in it. Come on.
Good hit.
I'm sure that the Team Zone and Team USA are keeping track, but he's starting to miss a few balls back down through the centre on the forehand, Cam Norrie, not finishing the swing. As he gets through the impact, he just kind of stops, which I guess is a deceleration, and that ball is starting to fly a bit from the forehand. There's one through the centre again.
15-13.
Norrie's going to take a little towel time out here for a second and just try and reset. He's feeling some strain now at 15-30 on his serve. Fritz really challenging him to go middle. He was standing so far left of center there, and Norrie took the bait and missed his mark. Real test now on a second serve at 15-30.
Fritz has done really well to chisel one back there. That was an excellent second serve. And the value of just making sure that you make a return. That was 10 miles an hour quicker than his average. Fritz adapted. 2 break points. That's drifted long. And that is a seismic shift in this match. And it goes Team USA's way, 3-1.
Dropping level from Cam Norrie in that game. Some unforced errors. And Fritz did his part. He got the returns in play. And he's always a threat to go on offense. Norrie unable to challenge that aspect. And now he's going to have to challenge Fritz's serve to get back in it.
Net for service.
Oh, Taylor Fritz with just simply a sensational shot.
15 on.
A lot of cross-court shots from Cam Norrie here. Gets the ball up high, and Fritz, of basically a half volley, redirects it. That is a 10 on the degree of difficulty scale. And instead of love 30, it's 15 all. That's a big difference. Fritz thought he had it. He was walking over for the next point.
Come on. Your terms, Nos. Come on, make him move.
2 of the best last year in terms of getting the break straight back on tour. Cam Norrie, almost 28% of the time. Seventh best on tour. And that's why anticipation and execution in equal measure.
First one, Nos, come on.
Yeah, but why did he go with the angle into the forehand? You got to ask that question there. We had the discussion about the backhand pass. You can see the spin he could get on the forehand from that deep in the court. Bad choice from Fritz.
30-40.
Go again. Up, John.
Still bringing the best out of each other. Norrie responds to the breaker serve.
Come on, you want it. That's the one. Come on. Let's hear
3-2,
it.
final set, Team USA.
Team USA leads 3 games to 2.
And the kind of rally that
Make 'em physical, Nos.
actually developed in the end that was absolutely to Norrie's liking. Fritz done a good job of staying with him for the large part of that, but dropped that one short, and he just hooks it short and wide. And the point at 15:30 proving so valuable for the British #1. Julian Romero, his fitness coach, won't be worried about Norrie's fitness, one of the fittest guys out there on the tour.
Yeah, if you can make him move, but you just got to, you know, it's just that competing point for point, making it physical, heavy spin, moving him. You know what it is? When you just get a little bit almost passive mentally, then he dictates. But you've got the engine, you know, that's what you've got to do. Come on. Come on, Nos. Come on, Nos.
Great stuff.
We need this, Nos. Come on. Right now. Come on. Do it. Come on.
Is that what you want to hear as a player? We need this.
It might be the truth, but it might be adding just a little bit of pressure that he might not need. But listen, Tim's hardly put a foot wrong in the Team GB zone. He's been such a cheerleader for everybody on the team. They've all been performing at a very high level, Cam Norrie included. So we'll trust in Tim that he knows how to push his players. He's gotten them here in a very tough section. They are in a 3-team group with Spain and the host nation Australia, and only they came out of it. Could have gotten long odds on that, I would imagine, before this competition.
A big point, so big, isn't it? It's about a 30% shift in your chances of breaking, from almost 90% no chance on the ATP Tour to 60% if you grab the opening point. And that's a nice rebound as well, and a cheap one really for Taylor Fritz, having just dropped his serve. He would have been hugely disappointed.
What another second serve. Norrie taking pretty big risk on that one. That is fast and it is close to the line, but if you get it right,
Come on.
you're back at 15 all. So the risk and the reward for Norrie. Fritz is really challenging him to hit that serve as well. In the ad court, Fritz has moved far into the doubles alley, taking away the wide serve as much as possible. And Norrie reacting well to that. But that play that Todd Woodbridge outlined, the play through the middle of the court for Fritz, Todd, that seems to continue to work for him.
Yeah, I'm close to them, but not close enough to really hear if that's what they've been talking about. But it seems to be more favourable. That's where Cam doesn't get out of the way. And he got away with that one. It seems that when he's on the move and he's hustling around, he gets in a better position on the forehand. Once it comes through the centre, he plants his feet just a little too early. You can see there. And that was almost another unforced error.
Well, given the situation in this set as well and the significance of that point, the quality once again was just astonishing. Yet to lose a point when he's hit a first serve out wide on that deuce side as well. Sebastian Preto's here looking after Dan Evans, just got into town. Evans up against Francis Tiafoe later.
I'll tell you one thing, if I was one of the players, not necessarily in the United Cup, but out in Adelaide, let's say, playing in that tournament, or just watching this event as you're going about your business, getting ready for the Australian Open, I sure would be hoping that I didn't get drawn to play Taylor Fritz or Cam Norrie in the form they're in right now. Boy, they are seriously balling here early in the season in mid-season form.
Resilient is a word that comes to mind for me at the moment for Cam Norrie, and I'm wondering whether Taylor can maintain the level he's at. He's probably due, as we hit that 2-hour mark, just to come off ever so slightly. Bit of pressure on himself by the loose forehand there. Love 15.
And that is the nice advantage of having a huge serve, isn't it? There's no question that Cam just there had a little bit of an advantage in the baseline exchanges. They simply haven't got into another one since. 15th ace for Taylor Fritz as he wraps up his 4th game of this final set to lead Team USA to a 4-3 lead.
Great work, Nos. Come on. A little impatient. On some of those.
Well, we wonder which way this final set's going to head as we head out to Taronga Zoo, which is located on the northern banks of the Sydney Harbour. And it's one of those places that, of course, also has some fantastic views of the Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. It's been established since the 19th century, and over 5,000 animals and over 350 species there. And Taronga, the indigenous word for beautiful water view, and unquestionably that is the case. Right now, though, the view on the tennis court between these two has just been absolutely magnificent. A masterclass being produced by these two wonderful players. It's invaluable, a great first serve, isn't it, Jim Courier?
With such a pressure release for a player like Fritz down love 15. The rallies had not been on his terms, they'd been on Cam Norrie's terms, so Fritz just avoided them with big serving. Fritz telling his coach Mike Russell he's not looking to run around his backhand to hit forehands. He'll happily exchange backhand to forehand, his backhand to Norrie's forehand. He'll be ready to pounce when he does get a forehand. That's his kill shot. The biggest forehands in men's tennis on average, Taylor Fritz's.
15 love.
Spots on the first serve. Here we go, Norrie. Come on.
Norrie's first serve percentage has been out of this world for much of the match. It's finally come back to earth. Missed a lot more first serves this set. But still on serve. Trade of breaks. Getting to the thick of it now, though.
40 love. Net.
The match started out, Fritz had one foot kind of straddling the doubles alley line. The left foot was well and truly in it. Now, at this stage of the match, both his right and left feet, he's starting in the doubles alley if you drew lines directly back.
Yes,
finds the other doubles alley. Quick hold for Norrie.
Four games old.
Come on, Norrie, right here. Come on, Norrie. First point, here we go. Work him over. That's easy, Norrie.
15.
There's Jessica Pegula on her phone, just coming out of the screen now. On the left, she is due to play next up against Harriet Dart. That match scheduled not before 5:30 p.m. That is 5 minutes from now. It's definitely not going to be before 5:30. But she is ready to go. Francis Tiafoe and Dan Evans will follow them, and then the mixed doubles. Pegula, Tiafoe slated to play for Team USA. Dart and Evans for Team GV. Will that be a live match? Time will tell. Big point here at 30 all.
Net for service.
That was a little interesting chat from Taylor over to the bench there when he made that serve. It wasn't negative. He turned to him and said, that was so good, so good. Some positive reinforcement to himself there.
don't think Tim's wrong. He definitely feels like the better player out here at the moment in the ground stroke exchanges. Can Taylor's serve bail him out of trouble? One of the reasons why Taylor was talking about not running around his backhand, because once he gets out of position, Norrie's hurt him with his forehand down the line. And he out-positioned himself, and it is Norrie who's in the best position possible.
How smart has he been here, though, on these couple of forehand returns? He's gone back just a little bit and really thrown the high, heavy ball with deep spin and trying to set up getting a shorter one to attack. A real adjustment in tactics at a crucial stage from Norrie.
Fritz losing the rhythm on his first serve.
Oh, he went for the same, but the massive deceleration on it.
You don't often see any negative energy from Cam Norrie, but he cannot believe he missed that second serve return. Tension in the arm. Same for Taylor Fritz. That serve missed in the middle of the net.
Advantage Team Great Britain.
Everything on the line as that shot from Fritz barely misses the line.
This is you. Come on. Aggressive. Earn it, Noz.
Wait, please.
Resilience and skill from Cam Norrie, coupled with anticipation, leaves Team GB serving for the win.
Team Great Britain leads 5 games to 4.
Suck it up. Two breaks where he just picks his iron. I guess is like my whole life, every match we ever played, he always guesses his inside in. That's why he's not the other way. The next time I go inside in, he's gonna guess that.
What a turnaround from bringing a breakdown in this final set by Cam Norrie. Well, he's done an amazing job of continuing to compete. It is always interesting when you watch the kind of next run of competitors who you think may end up winning a Grand Slam. The one thing you have to say from Taylor's point of view that he perhaps doesn't utilise enough, and Norrie has returned deep in this match, is he hasn't served and volleyed once. That block return ends up being effective because you know that your opponent isn't coming in. It takes a bit of pressure off you having to hit a quality shot. The anticipation was great, but the volley from Taylor was just a little late. And Team GB being in a very difficult position, down a match and down a break in the third, looking to square things up in the tie.
quality play from Taylor Fritz and understandably conservative play from Cam Norrie. 24-shot rally. Norrie hoping to extract an error. Fritz gave him nothing but high quality.
Massive credit to Taylor as well. That's probably the best baseline point he's played since going up a break 3-1 in this final set. And he needed it.
Your turns, Norris. Come on, aggressive.
Soaking up the speed coming off of the racket of the American. Norrie does extract the error and gets within 2 points of leveling the Sydney City Finals.
Two match points.
6-4, 5-7, 6-4.
What an exhilarating, entertaining clash that was between these two. They've met 11 times before. On the 12th time, it is Cam Norrie who's come from a breakdown in the final set to level up this Sydney City final, one apiece. And the GB flag flies high in the second match, but what a contest. How to showcase tennis at its absolute best.
They're a close-knit bunch, Team GB, so too Team USA. And there was not much between the two players on court. Norrie, so ruggedly tough. And he wobbled, he bobbled at times, but ultimately stuck with it enough. And Taylor Fritz, from that lead, not able to sustain it, not able to hold on. That will sting a little bit. And Cam Norrie, on the back end of beating Rafael Nadal, backs it up with another big win over a top 10 player in Taylor Fritz, and it is on in the Sydney City Finals. Number one ladies coming up next. Jessie Pegula will take the court for Team USA and see if she can shift a little momentum. Harriet Dart, she'll have something to say about that. And Cam Norrie's going to have something to say to Todd Woodbridge here momentarily.
Well, Cam, congratulations. What a performance. Down 3-1 in the third, just kept steady, maintained a great concentration. What were you thinking at that point, though?
Yeah, it was not easy. You know, I got a little bit tight in the second set. I had break points at 4-all, and then actually Taylor came back and served well, and I played a little bit of a loose game in the end of the second set, and then yeah, he came out sharper than me in the third and was more physical than me, and I was able to put a few more returns in the court at 3-1 and get back to playing physical and making the rallies longer and longer, and I was able to steal a few of those ones. And but all credit to Taylor. You know, we've played so many times and we've always had a battle. So I was definitely ready for 3 sets regardless of how we were playing, but it was a high-level match.
Let's talk about yourself. Over the last couple of years, it's been this steady rise, a major semi-final at Wimbledon last year. What do you put that down to as well? How have you been able to improve your game so much to become one of the very best players in the world?
I think that just down to me and my team staying hungry. You know, we were always wanting more, and we're trying to improve in every way. I think I still have a lot of things I can improve on in my game. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun, you know, playing at this level and kind of playing big matches with the best players in the world. And that's exactly why I'm playing tennis, and to play a match like this again, you know, in a big match with Taylor. And, you know, you never know when, obviously, some of the better guys in Nadal, Federer, they're getting on. They're still playing very well. I'm not saying anything like that, but you know, there's a lot of chances in the future, so I want to give myself the best chance with my team, and I'm still working hard, and I've not really done anything in the sport just yet, so I want to keep going.
Well, talking about your team, they've just left you. No one's been interested in hearing what you've got to say, but I do want to ask you about Tim Henman, because what's he like to have in that booth? We have him up in the commentary booth occasionally, and he likes to chit-chat. Do you listen at all to what he's got to say to you?
Yeah, he's pretty funny. He's pretty quick, you know. He's kind of keeping us in the moment, you know. And he's played a lot of big matches before, and he knows what it's like. And I like what he has to say, and obviously it's working well for the team, and it keeps even on the bench and you're watching the match, it's a lot of fun for everyone, and listening to what he has to say in the big moments. And yeah, I think it's perfect having a guy like that around, and who's also offering back to the younger guys and the younger generation.
Well, you've done an incredible job for your team this week. Congratulations. You levelled again at 1-1, and this city final is well and truly alive. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, guys. Cheers.
Yeah, nice. Todd Woodbridge, authenticity just drips from Cam Norrie, along with this perspiration that he puts in on a day-to-day basis to earn wins like that against quality top tenors like Taylor Fritz. Yet to get a top 10 win in a Grand Slam, but he's picking them up regularly now on the tour, and that will be the long walk back for Taylor Fritz, who we may well see in the mixed doubles later. It could easily come down to 2 apiece in this contest between these two nations. And just a reminder, in case this is the first time you are following the United Cup, of course, there are city finals in Perth and Brisbane as well, and the winners of those will make their way over here to Sydney to join the winner of that, and then the best runner-up as well. So out of the 3 city finals will make their way for and make up the 4th semi-finalist. As we run through some of the numbers from that wonderful contest, probably the best that we've had here in Sydney in terms of the matches that have been played. Highly competitive. Cam Norrie serving. Jim Courier was out of this world.
76% first serves in play. We mentioned in the match that's about 10% higher than he would normally serve, and he was also serving about 10K and on average faster than normal. So it was all clicking for him. These guys, I don't know that I can call those unforced errors unforced, because they were both hitting the ball so big and having to cover a lot of the court. This is a phenomenal level of tennis that we just witnessed. A lot of drama as well with the trade of breaks early doors in that 3rd set. So on a rainy day in Sydney here, we've had plenty shining under the canopy at Ken Rosewall Arena, and there is much, much more to come. All level at 1 apiece. Lots to play for here in the Sydney City Finals of the United Cup.
And let's hope the future is predicted by the past as well, given those opening couple of matches that have gone the distance, as well as we look forward to Jess Pegula taking on Harriet Dart in the first of the night session matches. Jess Pegula coming off the season of her life. Dart certainly moving into her prime right now. Daniel Evans, veteran, up against Francis Tiafoe, and then the potential mixed doubles, as well as we see Pegula getting herself in the right frame of mind, ready for that big contest, the 3rd singles of the day, up against Harriet Dart. For the moment, it is this man, Cam Norrie, who lit things up for Team GB. Taylor Fritz agonisingly close to putting his team within a match of victory and an assured place in the semi-finals of the United Cup. But still so much great tennis to come here at the Ken Rosewall Arena in Sydney.